Mm.
Uh, well, so today, my plan was to organize three of these events. And okay. And we have gotten to the third. And the next, after the next one that I want to bring the, yes, it's recording. And I want to bring these people to talk about, because the municipal incentive law is 25 years old.
Ah,
So it was implemented yesterday. In historical terms, it's a very recent law.
yes.
And Renata and Thiago, they knew how it is complex to keep this law working.
Mm.
We need to stay vigilant all the time. And perhaps it would be interesting to have these people that were involved in the political debate and the implementation and in the struggle directly. I also have to say that I have already translated the municipal law, I have translated the state law, and I'm working on the translation of our national law. This is the biggest one because it has so many areas and so many details. It's difficult to put everything together, but I promise I'll get it done as soon as possible. But also, I would like to start this meeting by showing this platform. This is our platform for the government. This is Baru platform, a system of culture. Call how did you say, Thiago? Competition notes, yeah.
Competition
For
notes.
culture funding. And when we come here in subscriptions, you can decide which call note you want, and then you're gonna have the data, the call note, and then you have, this form so you can complete with the information about your project, and then how you're going to distribute, commercialize, and you also have this spreadsheet and some links and other things. It's not simple. It's not fast, you know, but it allows us to think and to create. The first edition of this conversation was with my good friend Yuri, and Yuri was talking about these systems of law, and all these meetings are recorded, so they are. In the next email that
Good
I send.
morning. Yeah.
Hello, Mamle. Good morning, my friend.
Sorry, I'm actually just at a filling station buying some petrol, so I'll put myself on silent. Sorry. Nice to see you guys. I'm with you, but I'm driving, so I'll join the meeting properly when I get home.
Okay.
Just trying to switch my sound off right now.
And the first meeting we had Yuri talking about how the systems work. And in the second meeting, we had Fernanda Pimenta talking about her own experience and how the incentive laws impacted her career. And we had Flavio talking about laws, taxes, and democracy. Today we have these two good friends. We have Thiago. He's a nomad actor. He used to live in Goiânia, in my city, but now he lives everywhere. He's here, he's there, he's a nomad. And Thiago is responsible for one of the most transformative experiences that I had in terms of culture, because he is the responsible for a great festival in Goiânia that is called Na Ponta do Nariz. It's a festival of clowning and comicity. And I had the opportunity of watching great clowns from all over the world in Goiânia, So I think it was because of incentive laws, we could have this experience. And Renata Guise, she's going to talk about accessibility in arts, because our competition notes, Renata may explain that better, but in the last years, they have tried to implement big transformations in terms of accessibility. So trying to organize systems that allow accessibility in arts. Okay, there are many ways to criticize that and say that is okay. Renata will speak, but you don't approve any project if it doesn't have a well-detailed system of accessibility. Your project is nullified. I wrote a project about the preparation of a drama test. I was writing a play. I'm writing a play, and I wanted the financing to pay the copyrights and, just this part of writing and getting the copyrights, not setting the play. But I completely ignored this accessibility. I said, man, I'm just writing. How can I put accessibility in this? And my project was nullified, zero, because there was no accessibility. So perhaps this conversation can help you to think in terms of, because we are talking about individual experiences, and now with Thiago, I believe we're going to be talking about a much more collective experience. And with Renata, the same thing. It's a collective in a different perspective. All right, so getting started, I want to introduce my good friend Thiago. So Thiago Moura is a film and theater actor, acting coach, and researcher. He has created a personal brand that serves as a compass guiding his life and art, nomadic actor. His research explores the actor as a human potential capable of moving through multiple territories and actively influencing the realities he encounters. Holding a master's degree in performance arts, he also works as a curator, consultant, producer, and cultural manager. Throughout his career, he developed innovative projects that connect theater, film, multiple artistic languages, and new technologies. Notable works include Na Ponta do Nariz, In the Tip of the Nose, International Festival of Clowning and Comedy, and Grupo Bastet, his research on transmedia acting, and his exploration of dreams as a source of artistic creation. Committed artist, artivist, Thiago not only advances his artistic career, but also fosters to build collaborative networks among artists worldwide. Thiago Moura, my friend. Thiago, it's up to you now, my friend.
I don't believe that I'm the first one. People, I have not so perfect English, but I will try to talk. No, I think that this effort of connection is the most beautiful and interesting thing. No, and now I was traveling with a project. With my theater group, we travel for Europe, to Amsterdam, to Colombia, to Argentina too, because these kind of laws that we have here. I think that I and Renata, we are children from these competition notes too. I don't know how was our lives without this kind of tools, no? And so this conversation is very important to me because talk about my life in art, no?
Fantastic, man. And so, Thiago, just to have a little perspective, how many projects have you submitted so far?
Oh, guy. I a lot because I do that every time. And now in Brazil, we have a lot of competition notes, private and public. Um, so I think that when I'm trying to get some incentive of these competition notes. I try to send 10 projects to perhaps I have one project approved. So I work a lot now. I work a lot with collaboration. So I send my project, but I help Alexis, Gustavo, and other artists to do your own projects if I can stay with them, working, collaborating. So I think that this idea of the notes, of the competition notes, is so to improve the work of a lot of artists. No, it's not only to my own work. And what so I think that to work continuing, I need to work with others, because if I think only in my own work, I can't work every time. No, I can't. So the collaboration is a key to the continuation of the work in art, in thinking in competition notes. No.
Yeah, especially because when we are dealing with project, it involves sometimes hundreds of people, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hundreds of people, and
Uh-huh.
it's a it's also a kind of learning management, because it's all about learning management. I was with the documents from the festivals, Na Ponta do Nariz, and I see that there is a severe organization with documents, with payments, with clipping, with media and so many things. So it's very well organized, like a company. And that's my of course I know that my African friends, they have the same kind of management quality in organizing their events. Well, because you can only do events if you have a lot of organization.
Yeah.
But with the competition notes, artists need to learn to do some kind of management, isn't it? In the end, because okay, you have production,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, you need to learn that too, isn't it? Doesn't it?
Uh, Management of people too, no, I think that is the most difficult thing, because uh, to get, because in art, different of another structure, like a business, a company, we are together for with the majority of the people for a small time, no. I have my company. There are producers that work with us, but these artists and producers are independent too. So to stay together for a small time working, and so we go work with another project. It's a very difficult thing, but with the time we are learning, how to do that, how to organize, how to create systems to do that. Now I'm working with a management, a person that work with me in Grupo Basset, that see all the project and all the process and write the system that we use to do this project. And so we use the system to the next project, improving this system. I never thought that I, like an artist, I will do that, no, this kind of thing.
Yeah, but this is unavoidable, Thiago. Since you start, I never imagined that I would work with competition notes in my life. I never thought about that. But in the last years, because of Mabata Bata group and the play, the Grupo Jambalau group and Mabata Bata and all these other things, I started dealing with that on a regular basis. So we read the document. We read the documents, we learn, we prepare the materials, we prepare the documents, the clipping, and to get to the financing is not simple. And then we need to close the company, and we open the company for a short time, we work, and then we need to close the company and pay everything, and no debts, nothing left behind.
Cool.
But Thiago, what I want to ask you concerning Na Ponta do Nariz, the first question is, how have the competition notes, how these editais, these competition notes, hello Amara, good morning,
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Hi, Amara.
Amara is in
Nice to meet
Nigeria.
you.
Hello, everyone.
And so, Thiago,
I see you.
let me
Hello.
just get to the gallery. Yes, we are here. So, Thiago, the first question that I would like to ask you about the festival, Na Ponta do Nariz, in the tip of the nose, is how have these incentive laws made the festival possible? And because we are talking about many editions throughout the years.
10 editions already.
10 editions, wow.
Yeah. I think that the most crucial is that I'm a pool artist. No, I have and I was born in the countryside, and I lived in the periphery of my city, and I propose the festival, a very big festival in this position, in social position. So I think that is something very interesting to the society, that it's not common that this kind of people be here, no, for the others. And so I think that without the competition notes, some person like me can't do something like that. And see, it's a very interesting festival, no, 10 edition already. These public cultural incentive laws provide crucial funding that supports the entire structure of the festival. Without these resources, we wouldn't be able to bring world-class performers from around the globe, organize the logistics of the event, or ensure that it remains accessible and inclusive to a diverse audience. Oh, see.
I was there.
Yeah. The festival is a point of connection of clowns around the country, around our city and the state. And the competition notes have been instrumental in provide financial backing, allowing us to ensure the festival's sustainability and expansion. By accessing grants through this competitive funding opportunity, we've been able to attract renowned international performers, including, I don't know if you know these names, but in the clowning world, they are very, very famous, like Avner Eisenberg from USA, Sue Morrison from Canada, Leo Bassi from Italy, and Django Edwards from USA. Peppa Plana was she is more important than that, but she was clown in the that very big circles. What is the name?
Cirque du Soleil?
Cirque du Soleil, and all Cirque du Soleil is like a Coca-Cola in the in the world of the circus, no? They get all the big clowns of the world. And Gardy Hutter, Chacovati, Marta Caballo, La Bandita Alegre, Macu Jarrac, Rader Clown, Pepe Picaporte. And now we are making part of a a web of festivals in Latin America too. I think that these local competition notes they was very important uh, because we can now access another kind of support, international support. Uh, Before that, before 20 years of competition notes, we never be able to get national competition notes or international competition notes. But now we are in the position to try this kind of thing. So because that, I think that the local and the small competition notes are so important to.
Thiago, just one commentary. I recently discovered that in Latin America, our hermanos, in most of the countries, they don't have this kind of culture incentive laws. Two, I think it's only two countries that have. And I was really considering, bringing this, Africa and Latin America together in this reflection on the importance of cultural incentive laws.
Yes. Because they are in Colombia, I know that they have another kind of fomento. How can I say? Fomenting. Yeah, is because we have this kind of tool no, that is the direct payment to the artist. The incentive laws have another structure. No, we receive from the government a letter, no, to get money from the business, from the enterprises, and so this money that they put in the cultural projects, they are discounted from the what is the name
Taxes.
From the taxes. So it's a different structure, but I think that is interesting too, because the idea is that to put the business and the enterprise together, that they understand that they need to work with the society, with the important things that we need to build the society. But in Brazil, I think that they stopped in this doing that, because they don't do this kind of incentive without the discount of the government. No, the idea is that now the enterprise will understand that the incentive of the culture is very important, so they will put your own money. But we don't. You can't do it yet, but I think that is a good try, no?
Thiago, using this, instead of getting the money straight from the companies, with direct financing, don't you think the cultural incentive laws make the landscape more democratic?
Yeah.
Because, the companies can be very selective in what they want to finance. So maybe when you get the document from the government and you can get this, it creates at least a little more democratic system, doesn't it?
Yeah. Mainly in the local, the incentive law of the city and the incentive law of the state too, as somehow. But in the federal one, we have some problems, no? Because the big enterprises put money in this kind of laws. The small ones can't do that. So the big enterprise like Petrobras, Coca-Cola,
Heineken, Itaú,
Heineken,
Itaú Bank.
yeah, they want only to put money in famous artists. And so it's not only that. Yeah, we another kind of projects can do that, but the project pass by the eye of the enterprise. The enterprise choose to how what project will be incentivized. So this is a problem that we are working with that now. Yeah, it's a very important law, but we have some problems yet, no? But yeah, it's very more democratic, because before that to have this kind of incentive and support was impossible, no?
Yeah, because the law creates a bridge between the people, the government, and the enterprise. But you have the government as a mediator.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't go to the company and say, "Oh, would you like to finance this project?" No, now when you have the document, it means this project has been studied, evaluated, reviewed, and it's viable, and then you can execute it. Yes, that's fantastic. And Thiago, you gave a long list of famous clowns, and I'm very glad that I was able to meet most of them. And do you think all these people, all these famous clowns that came to Goiânia, would that had even been possible without cultural incentive laws?
Impossible. I never was meeting an American person before this festival. I never traveled out of my country before this festival, and so it was impossible to us. And I think that this large scale of the festival without support was totally impossible.
Totally impossible. Yes, I'm really considering doing something because you connected Latin America, you connected Europe, you connected the United States to Goiânia. And I'm really considering connecting Africa to Goiânia too, because
yeah,
it's something that has never happened. You know, bringing African culture to Goiânia is still something very difficult.
Now I'm traveling like a curator too, like an artist, but a lot of festivals around the world invite artists that are curator too, so we can make some kind of bridge. You know, I call Gustavo that make a festival in Africa, and so he knows a lot of cultural workers there, and so he can do the bridge. And now I knew in Colombia now a very interesting artist from Guinea Equatorial that I never will be able to know without this kind of bridge, you know. There's something that I want to do that without these incentive laws, the festival would have to rely entirely on private sponsorships, ticket sales, or personal funding. In my case, impossible. I have no personal funding. But private sponsorship want always lucro,
Profit
by the visibility, no? They want to sell things, ideas, or wash their own image. And an artist project, I think, can't stay submitted to this kind of thing, because that is so important that the sponsorship uh, be public entities, no? Because if it's so, the most important thing to the projects are to attend the necessities and insights of the citizens, and not the insight of the profit of the enterprise. When public institutions provide funds to cultural projects, we preserve the interest of the nation too. In the United States, we know the powerful weapon that the cultural industry is, no? Perhaps the cultural modern colonization is the most powerful weapon that the North countries have. And perhaps it is our chance, no, of the change the world and our history too. I think that our President Lula is a very intelligent person because now we are in the Oscar, people. No, what is the Oscar? It's not important, really important, but to us, now we have prizes in Cannes and in the most important festivals around the world. We have artists traveling around the world. So we are now, I think, with our self-esteem very strong, and this is very important to the business to get money to, but we are stronger now, no, with a better self-esteem, and I think that we are more prepared to another kinds of things that we need to lead.
Fantastic, man.
Something that I think that is important, that the cultural industry is responsible in Brazil for to get more money than the automobilistic industry. So to put incentive in this kind is the work of the government, no, to put money in this kind of sector that is good to the economy too, but to the society at all, no?
Oh, Thiago, and I can say about my own experience meeting Peppa Plana, meeting Tchaikovsky, and meeting all these clowns. They were very important for my development, but I didn't even do the training and the courses because these clowns, they came to Goiânia to give workshops, but they gave courses, long courses. So my question is, how do these incentive laws promote an impact in the city, in our city, in Goiânia? In terms of artist development, in terms of economy development, how the Na Ponta do Nariz Festival impacted the landscape of art and culture?
Yeah, I think that in a project we think in a lot of things. No, we think in personal interests, in collective interests, and in the government interests too. No, and so our work will be transforming something very multifaceted. And I think that providing opportunities for artist development, visibility, and professionalization of clown and circus performers, actors, actresses, cultural producers, dancers, and artists of other areas. In the festival, we get more stronger. These laws have played a crucial role in fortifying the local clowning community by offering funding and support for both established and emerging artists. No, I think that is very important because sometimes we have a capitalist mind that think that if I'm an emerging artist, I need to put out the established artist. It's a terrible thought because I need to put all together. Now I need to make grow all the area. And now I think that the artists and producers of my area are thinking about that too. One of the key impacts has been the facilitation of major festivals like the Na Ponta do Nariz, which is central to the clown scene in Goiânia and beyond. Thanks to support from incentive laws, we have been able to organize an international festival that brings together renowned clowns from around the world and provides an important platform for local talents, an education experience to improve the work of the local artists and to grow new workers. This type of festival that we are thinking in the work of the artists, but to improve this work. This type of festival is invaluable for showcasing clowning as a serious and in a new scenario, providing opportunities and connections for local performers in this interaction with international artists, learning from them and expanding their creative horizons. The incentive laws have allowed us to offer workshops and training programs that focus on the specific techniques of clowning. We made a forum of sustainability in art too, inside the clowning festival. In this forum, we think ways to create a scene of dignity work to these education activities are essential for nurturing the next generation of clowns, and they provide valuable tools and resources for both aspiring performers and established artists looking to deepen their craft. Additionally, the funding and visibility that cultural incentive laws provide have allowed us to foster collaboration between clowns and other artists from different disciplines, creating cross-art projects that expanding the boundaries of what clowning can be. This interdisciplinary approach has brought new ideas and techniques to clowning community, helping to involve the practice and keep it fresh in an ever-changing cultural landscape. And what I can see now that is we have now a more multidisciplinary artists in our state and city. No, Gustavo, you too. You are English professor, but you are a writer. And some days ago, you are like an actor too. And it is our times. No, it's a time that the borders between the kinds of artists are blending. So yeah, and I'm dream that these borders between countries blending too. No, yeah, I think that this idea of the cultural promotion of the countries is very beautiful because put the people of different places more together, because together we are stronger, no?
Yes, man. Thiago, your words were enlightening, my friend. And it's true, Thiago, my experience with Na Ponta do Nariz and all that life, because it's a long festival. You know, I think we had an edition of Na Ponta do Nariz that were like 20 days festival. It's not like 4 days, 7 days. It's a 20 days festival, you know. So we had a lot of time to experience and to be together with so many artists and with so many people from so many different places in the world. I think Na Ponta do Nariz made Goiânia a more diverse city, you know, a more multiple city. Because when we have every year a festival that brings clowns from all over the planet, it makes the topography of the city different, because we have the opportunity of listening and learning and transforming. And I was very glad, and I am very glad to participate some of the editions directly, you know, as a translator, as someone that receives the artist. You know, Django Rogers was here, man, one of the greatest American clowns. Peppa Plana, the one from Italy, Leo Bassi. You know, Leo Bassi from Italy, the guy took a shower of honey in one of the most traditional theaters in our city.
Put fire
put
in the
fire.
theater.
Yeah, you know, this crazy people. There was an event in A Ponta do Nariz. Just a little historical background. Our city is in the very core of the country. And this city has a colonialist background, something that we call bandeirantes. You know, the bandeirantes were the people from the south that invaded the countryside lands, slaving indigenous populations and slaughtering them too. So when they come to the center of the state, there were many indigenous people here. And these indigenous people were decimated. And our landlord, called Bartolomeu Bueno, it's the big bandeirantes, o Bartô, and there is a big statue of this man in the very heart of the city. This man that decimated indigenous people, that was so violent, the founder of the city, is a colonizer. And in this festival, na ponta do nariz, in the tip of the nose, we built a statue of Anhanguera, of Bartolomeu, a big statue, monstrous statue, and we set it on fire in the very square.
The indigenous clowns from Brazil set fire.
Exactly, the indigenous clowns from Brazil set fire to the statue. So, na Ponta do Nariz, it's a clowning festival, and because it's a clowning festival, it's highly and deeply political. You know, it touches, it affects, it provokes. You know, nothing better than clowns to make society more critical, you know, more able to look at its own defects. So, Thiago, I'm very glad to hear you in this morning. Thank you for your enlightening words, and I hope this message can spread, and the testament you gave about cultural incentive laws really have changed our lives, and more than that, have changed our city and have changed the lives of hundreds of people, because they were able to connect with people that would be impossible other way around. So, my friend, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There are some things that I want to say, that is, to who is interesting to put us distant, no? In one moment in Brazil, I saw that there was islands of cultural resistance. And when I begin to travel, I saw that in these islands, there are solutions to our problems in Goiânia. And in Goiânia, there are some solutions to the problems of them. And I think that when we when we have a structure to create bridges between people and artists around the world, we can create more solutions and spread more solutions, because we have different problems and different solutions too. Thank you all.
Thank you, man. Fantastic. Yes, na ponta do nariz, in the tip of the nose, was a very important festival, is a very important festival. And I have had great moments of my life with these clowns, you know, and having a really good time. When you hang around with one clown is one thing. When you hang around with a dozen of clowns, then you have something that is unforgettable, you know, because one person with a clown mind, of course, it's very funny, it's very good to be around, but when you have like a constellation of clowns, it's something fabulous, unforgettable. Thank you, Thiago. Well, moving to our second guest, Renata Gysi. Renata, I will give her curriculum. Renata Gysi is a multidisciplinary artist. specializing in performance, dance, mask making, and inclusive arts education. She holds a degree in performing arts and visual arts with expertise in teaching, performing arts, and special education. Currently a master's student at UFG, she researches the role of mask theater in the creative development of artists with disabilities. Since 2020, she has taught theater and dance at INAI and became an audio describer in 2023. Renata Guise. Yes, as I said in the beginning of our conversation, the discussion about accessibility has become something very serious in Brazil. And I believe the competition notes play a crucial role in this reflection, in this transformation. So I will let Renata do her introduction and then we move to a conversation. Okay, Renata? Renata, welcome to this very important moment, sharing insights about cultural incentive laws with our friends from Africa.
God, thank you so much. You know Joker by Jack Nicholson? He said, there's a lot to say, so little time. Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Renata Guise. I am a white, cisgender woman, 5'2" feet tall, with long, straight, dark brown hair, with lot of gray strands. I wear a black frame glasses, a black t-shirt with the Instituto Arte e Inclusão INAI, it's Art and Inclusion Institute, where I work there. I am in my studio. Behind me, there's a window, and below the window are two workbenches with a lot of books and a lot of tools on them. Sorry for the mess. Yes, I'm messy. Artists. For me, it is a pleasure to be here today to talk about an essential topic that is cultural accessibility. So thank you again, Gustavo, for the invitation. I will read the speech because if I don't, I will stay till tomorrow talking about this subject because I'm very passionate about it. And if I say something wrong, please, Gustavo, correct me. Okay? I love the expression from Thiago that we are the children of incentive laws because if I do this a lot of, because I do a lot of things in arts, and I'm a mask maker, I teach performance and dance, sculpture, etc. Well, I was remembering all the festivals in Goiânia, and today I know that what is physical theater because one of the festivals, Teatro Ritual, it was incredible for my life, and today I was thinking about it. Well, started there. That's so nice. And my speech, I don't think that is the word, but we have to remember Flávio speech and Fernanda's speech, plus now Thiago, because when we talk about culture, we talk about identity, expression, and belonging. However, this is still a great challenge that ensures that all people, regardless of their physical, sensory, or intellectual condition, have full access to culture manifestations. Cultural accessibility is not just a matter of inclusion, but a fundamental right. That's why I started my speech by doing my audio description, because this talk is for everyone who wants to know about the subject. And this talk will become a video for YouTube. Audio description, it's not just for blind people. It's also for people with ADHD, for children who are developing their vocabulary. YouTube has its accessibility features in a certain extent. So more we know about assistive technologies or technical aids, help, I don't know, how can I translate? Ajuda técnica.
Technical aid.
Technical aid, yes. The more accessible we will be, and consequently more inclusive. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to talk about all the aspects that involve cultural accessibility because this topic involves many issues that regarding the rights of people with disabilities. But basically, we need to understand that if you are talking about public policies with accessibility measures for people with disabilities, we need to think intersectionally. Directing the measures not only to people with disabilities, but also to their family members / companions / caregivers. The Brazilian inclusion law for people with disabilities, enacted in 2015. This law, it's very young, very, very young. It is and today it is a milestone in Brazilian legislation. This law ensures that people with disabilities have the right to access and enjoy cultural assets on equal terms with others. This means that cultural spaces, performances, museums, cinemas, and festivals must offer accessibility resources such as audio description, subtitles, sign language. Here in Brazil, we have Libras. And I was making
The Brazilian language of signals.
Yes, the Brazilian Sign Language, yes. And I did a research. Nigerian has the NSI, the Nigerian Sign Language. That is a mix of ASL, the American Sign Language, and the Sign English. So this one. And Ghana have almost three, or it's at least 3 sign languages.
Wow.
Because there's the Ghanaian Sign Language, the Adam Morobe Sign Language, and Nanabing Sign Language, because there's Adam Morobe in Nanabing are villages. I was so almost enchanted, like, oh my God, there's so many things that we don't know about Africa. Sometimes it's a shame. Wow. In the context of culture funding programs, the LBI, Lei Brasileira de Inclusão, the Brazilian law of inclusion, directly influenced the requirements, making mandatory for projects to include accessibility measures. Today, many funding programs demand provisions for accessibility resources and solutions so that artist productions and events are truly democratic and inclusive. Gustavo sent me some questions, and The first one it was how does our competition notice, yes, editais,
Yes.
have adapted to these new policies? Objectively.
Oh, Renata, your speech was so beautiful that I didn't want to interrupt with the questions, you know?
No, that's and I talk a lot. So if I don't read, it's a lot to say, and yeah, I'll, I will go on.
Okay.
Well, it happens that if I respond you objectively, after the LBE come into force, the notices are required to comply with the basic precedes of the law, such as requiring that the project have at least one base accessibility measure for inclusion of people with disabilities and people with vulnerable situations. Because, well, after this, we can talk more about the assistive technologies and technical aids, but I think that we have to remind it's not a simple it's not simple to answer this question, because what is accessibility, right? Remember that I said that we have to think intersectionally about
Okay.
this matter. Intersectionality is a study that shows us a way of understanding the complexity of power relations and human experiences. It is fundamental to understanding how discrimination and privilege intersect and manifest themselves in complex ways. So now I'm with Flavio in front of me. You know, it's about democracy, it's about the social structure that involve us. Before the LBE, it was very common for cultural spaces and artists to think about accessibility only from an economic perspective. But intersection it's more. It's about NC, about gender, about. So this economic perspective is well, I'm offering a free ticket. Was already a measure for accessibility. It is in fact that this continues to be a very necessary and fair measure for our reality, but cultural accessibility is much more than that. It involves ensuring that all people can not only access, but also participate and produce culture. There are many other aspects necessary for audiences with disabilities to be able to enjoy cultural services, and as well the artists with disabilities to be present in the cultural space showing their work. And the other question that Gustavo sent me was, what are the impacts? Oh my God, this one, it's... what are the impacts on the cultural system with the adoption of these policies? Basically, again, basically and objectively, the concept of accessibility has increased, because we are not only talking about people with disabilities, but also elderly people, pregnant people, large people, sick people, mothers and fathers with their babies who need a place to breastfeed, to change diapers. But of course, as we still live in an ableist society, we will need to be more rigorous to that people with disabilities have their rights yet guaranteed, which is why we still use the word inclusion. Using the word inclusion is admitting that standard neurotypical bodies exclude diverse bodies or bodies with specific needs. I did it's because the word inclusion in many places is associated with the idea of welfare and charity and low quality, you know, and we have so many artists with incredible things and incredible knowledge. Also, the hiring of other professionals has increased, such as sign language interpreters, audio describers, consultants with disabilities, because there's no meaning in hiring a person without disability to talk about the aesthetic experience that a person with disability has, or the logistic that they have. We have to think about that the way, well, I'm going to watch something, I'm going to enjoy cultural a cultural show, something, I will go out. What's going to be my transportation? How much time I spend to take that place? It's a lot. Accessibility researchers and advisors, so this was increased also. In general, the participation of people with disability has increased, both audience and artists in the arts world. Field market, I don't know how to say because it's a world, right? But there's still so much more to be done. And what I want to say is, by taking these measures honestly and effectively, you will be impacting people's lives. You will be offering people the opportunity to be where they want to be. After all, that is the person's right. And offering this with quality, with the best that the aesthetic experience of your project can offer is life. Providing presence is providing belonging, is providing life. Representativity is life. You know, when you don't call your friends, don't go out with them every now and then, don't post your work on social media, people forget that you exist. So I'm doing now quotation marks with my hands when I say the expression forget it that you exist, just for audio description. That's what it happens. If we don't coexist, conviver,
live together,
if we can't go to places, we are not remembered, we are not known, and our specific needs are not understood, respected. Diversity is a challenge for everyone. It is not simple to deal with differences, but it's not impossible. The more we get used to different bodies in our daily lives, the easier it will be to think about which resources are necessary for your projects or your cultural space. Well, and this, I want to show how much time I have.
Well, you still have some time.
Some time?
Yeah.
Well, I will show you some of Grupo de Teatro Inai works.
The pictures you sent me, is
Yes,
that?
yes, yes.
Okay, I'll
It's
get that.
a theater group that I'm in. Yes, any picture. Right. Last year we presented a play called O Voo da Patativa, Patativa's Flight. Patativa is a bird. Yes, this one. It's a little one because it's Instagram photos.
Okay.
Yes. I'm in the middle. In this play, I'm an actress and I'm an audio descriptor as well. In my at the left side, there's a character that speaks in sign language, and the right side is an actress. It's a blind actress. The play starts at the entrance with a sensory model, which represents the set. This set behind us at the photo. There's a door and a table with a light on top of the table. And at the entrance also have dolls that represent the characters in the play. The dolls that the first photo. Yes, this is the entrance. Yes, this is the exhibition of the dolls. The dolls wear the same costumes as the characters with the same fabrics from the costumes. Below the dolls, there's a QR code with detailed audio descriptions of hair, makeup, and the entire costume doing by the characters. So I said, well, I'm Renata Giesing and representing Aninha. And I speak as Aninha with my voice, character voice. And still in the entrance, there is a guide who welcomes people with disability, guiding them through the sensory model and the doll exhibition. And we also made soundproofing available for people on the autism spectrum or with hearing sensitivity. Oh, this is the model. And it is the same materials from the set. So in the play, also in the play, the audio description was part of the tests.
Fantastic.
It is just a little piece of our work. And just to conclude, cultural accessibility should not be seen as a challenge or a bureaucratic obligation, but as an opportunity to make culture truly diverse and representative. It is up to us as a society, cultural professionals, and public agents to ensure that everyone has access to arts and cultural expressions. Inclusion is a collective commitment, but by implementing these practices, we'll We create an environment where diversity is celebrated and where culture truly belongs to everyone. So thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for the invitation.
Renata, it was fantastic. You know, this conversation is different from the past ones because I think these two talks, they really talked about the collective, you know, the collective and the development of the collective. And this discussion about inclusion in Brazil is very hot now. And this is something that uh, has changed the landscape of theater and arts production. I have to say that my play is 10 years old, but only now, after these big changes in legislation, we started to have some kind of inclusion and accessibility in our place. So for the first time, we had audio description. For the first time, we had Libras, but it's still like that. But we can improve, you know, having the miniatures, having the miniatures of the costumes, because but this is something, the law is 15 years old, so it's very new for us as creators of art to think about inclusion in a profound and thorough way, you know, because this discussion has just started. It's now we are talking. This is the time for this conversation. We are having this conversation right now, and it's impacting our cultural production. Uh, well, or you learn, or you start thinking about that, or you were not going to have your projects financed, you know. So it's a very interesting way to transform our consciousness about this democratic access to culture, because in Brazil culture is a fundamental and constitutional right. So culture is accessible. So to have culture access, we need to have conditions. And to have conditions, we need to have the state, you know, because it's a constitutional right. And everybody must have access. So it means that we need to think it through our laws and our systems of state. So Renato, thank you. It was very enlightening, you know. It was very, very enlightening. It's a beautiful speech. Well, my friends, we don't have much time, but because we have taken some time of our good friends, Thiago has a workshop right after this one. And I would like to open for questions and commentaries, but we cannot take much longer. So, Thiago, thank you, my friend, very much for your speech, and Renata too. And for those that would like to comment, well, time is up. Time is now. Time is not up, almost up. Yes, it's up to you, you know. We have Aqua Praco. You can go, my friend, and Filipa too. So let's just Aqua go, and then you go, Filipa. You can go, Aqua, please. Aqua. Hello, man. Do you listen? You can go, Filipa, while our friend is preparing.
Okay. I just wanted to say thank you so much for such a stimulating and interesting conversation. It feels like this is the way forward, while the West is obviously going down the toilet. It's like there's no, like, it's just it's so encouraging to see all this and to hear you talking about inclusion in this way. And I mean, the way that you're breaking boundaries, and the biggest boundary is language. And you know, like people were saying, you know, this thing about in Africa, you know, those that were colonized by the Portuguese don't speak to those who were colonized by the French or the English. You know, we don't speak to each other. It's such a challenge. And it just feels like the Brazilians have got some really interesting things for us to learn from. I am also, as a poet and as a performer, I'm just excited by the possibilities. We don't have, in South Africa, we don't have a incentive grant or any kind of grant as it happens. And we've got like the cultural version of Donald Trump, who's the Minister of Arts and Culture. So he doesn't even love art at all. He's not even interested. And he's just using the money for his own end. So I like what you're saying about becoming, building community. And I'm so excited to see my friends from Ghana and Nigeria. My friend, hello. You're being brought together by the Brazilian. I think that thing of like Chago was talking about bringing people together. And for me, the biggest thing that I've learned today is about personal interests and communal interests and government interests. And how do we align those? How do we think about that all the time?
Fantastic. Thank you, Filipa. Yes, I Filipa was with me at the same hotel. And she said that the Brazilian, Yes, the Brazilians are here.
There are something that I want to comment about that too. That is when I never thought about staying in position of power, no, in positions in leaders. How
Leadership?
can I say it? Yeah,
Yeah,
leadership.
leadership.
But when we had like how President Jair Bolsonaro, I don't know if you know him. It's a clone of Donald Trump. I thought I need to assume positions of leadership. So in this time, I was president of the Federation of Theater of Goiás. In my building, I beginning to talk with the other people of the build too, and interfere in the organization of the build, because I think that when we don't have social organization, you can't do anything, no? And I thought that in the Federação de Teatro, Theater Federal, how can I say, Gustavo? Federation of Theater of Goiás. We have in the time we had 25 groups associated. So I think, wow, 25 groups around the state. It is very powerful place. So I went there. Now we have 60 groups around the state associated. And what I saw is when we are together, 60 groups can do a lot of things. No, if I pay to watch your play, and you pay to watch my play, you can leave already. You can make a economy of our own group. So I think that these social organizations are very important in these moments that we have no a good leadership in the country too.
Yes, we have a situation with our Secretary of Culture today. Terrible man, with many with problems with violence against women, sexual harassment. It's catastrophe, man. But we are vigilant, we are vigilant. I think Aqua wanted to do a commentary or ask a question. Hello, my friend.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Akuya Praku. I'm the founder of Samba Ghana. We are a Samba dance organization. We learn and teach Samba Nope to the Tabon community here in Ghana. And we also perform live entertainment for different cultural events. We also do cultural fusion, fusing local traditional dance with some samba nope moves to create awareness of the connection between the diaspora and our peoples. And so this meeting was forwarded to me by the director of the Brazil Ghana Chamber of Commerce. I'm so grateful that that was forwarded to me, so that I can just hear all this great information. I'm looking forward to reviewing the recording, and I will be, sharing my LinkedIn, our Instagram, so we can just connect. Last year, we were invited by Dr. Busia, the former Ghanaian ambassador to Brazil, to perform in Bahia and we did a process with Muzenza during their carnival. So it was really an amazing, what I call trifecta event and experience. What our experience is on this side of the world is there's been a huge commercialization of what we call festivals and cultural activities. And many a times we are approached by whether it be promotional entities to do something, what they say, we want to do a carnival. And then our response is, well, what's the purpose? What's the theme? What is it? What commentary are we making on society? And then that's where the conversation cools. So there's obviously a lot of work that still needs to happen about what these activities are, how powerful they are. What we do is we leverage Chalewate, which happens every August, which is an arts festival. And we use it as an opportunity to work with Tabon youth, to highlight their Brazilianness, because they are very much assimilated into the Gan culture, which are the coastal people of Ghana, of Accra. And so we use this as an opportunity to address teen pregnancy, education, just cultural awareness, historical references. And so I'm just excited. I saw someone's post that they're going to share. I just want to read more on the laws, more and align. We will be inshallah, hopefully, landing in Rio to participate in the Rio Carnival next week or this week. And so please keep us in your positive thoughts. But yes, I am very excited for the future. I'm very excited like platforms like this exist. And so please, I will be harassing everyone afterwards and looking forward to connect.
Yes, Aqua, thank you for sharing. I just want to do a little commentary on what you said to Renata and Thiago. In Ghana, there is this people called Tabon people, and they are originated from Brazil. They were involved in the Malay revolt in Salvador, and the government, the imperial government said, we don't want you even in the jail. And they sent these people on ships across the Atlantic back to Africa. But they were not Africans anymore. They were Brazilians, and they got to Ghana. 7 arrived in Ghana. And from them, there was a big generation, and they became the Tabon people. If you go to a very poor neighborhood in Ghana called Jamestown, there is a museum there, a Brazilian museum called the Brazilian House, in a very depleted state, converted into a Protestant church, but it is still there. And the Tabon people. So, wow, that's fantastic. I didn't know about Tabon people regaining their Brazilian roots through Africa, through Ghanaian exercise. That is fantastic. Well, my friends,
We're trying. Sorry. I'm so excited because for me, anytime I mention the Tabon community, especially when we're in Brazil, they're like Tabon, Tabon. It's like they still don't get it. And when people think of connection between Brazil and Ghana, or Brazil and Africa, Ghana doesn't really come at the top of the list. But the Tabon community has such a history also when it comes to business, textiles. There's been a very rich contribution to the Ghanaian community. And so, what we do is we highlight what we learned from the Brazilians as to the excellence in promoting our culture, curating our culture, and taking inventory of our culture. And so, yeah, I'll leave it there. I'm just excited that you even mentioned
Yeah,
Tabon, the
yes,
Tabon people. Thank you so
and
much.
Thiago and Renata, the Tabon people is exactly because of Tabon, because when they got there, they couldn't speak the language, and then they would say Tabon, and Tabon mean it's okay in Portuguese. So they
Can I
became the
just
Tabon.
say, I would love to meet you, Ekuya, because I want to learn samba. I don't know if you give lessons to people outside of the Tabon community, but let's have a conversation afterwards, please.
Yes. Aqua, please put your email on the list, please, on the chat, because I don't think you are in our mailing list. Well, my friends, I think we have had a fantastic morning, and I would like to thank my friends Thiago and Renata for this most enlightening conversation. And thank you, Thiago, and thank you, Renata, for bringing so much hope for art throughout what you're doing, throughout what you are sharing, and to show that things are still changing and we can participate on the change. We can affect systems. We can work towards a more democratic landscape for arts. This is so important. And for my African friends, Amara, Obed, Martin, Pelu, and all these people that have been here, Philippa, it's so good. This event is so good because I keep meeting you every month. Mamle, and I keep meeting you, and we keep this flame alive, and this flame of friendship, of partnership, of contribution, of sharing, of interference. So, my friends, it's very good, and I hope this conversation continues to foster a deeper understanding between our countries and our lands. I would like to leave this as a provocation, that all these conversations, perhaps they must move and change into a movement, that connects East Africa and South Africa, West Africa especially, and South Africa, in order that we can bring these laws adapted to each country's reality, each city's reality, and you can have more democratic power over your artistic productions, accessibility, diversity, community, all these words that these cultural incentive laws have fostered in our lives. So, my friends, thank you for being here with us, for listening to us and sharing with us. It's fantastic. And I really hope to meet you as soon as possible in African lands or in Brazilian lands, because this is true. I'm really considering preparing an event for African writers in Goiânia, because as we were able to bring clowns from all over the world to our city, I would really like to bring African writers and artists to our city, because this is something that we still haven't seen. We still haven't seen, we still haven't had the opportunity. So I may be producing and considering a project for an incentive law to bring you to meet us here in our lands, Brazilian lands. Fantastic. So thank you, and I hope you have a delightful weekend. I just want to get the email from my new friend here. Are you related to Pelu? Or Temitope Awofe? Are you related to Pelu? Are you cousins? Because you have the same last name. So wait for my
Hello,
contact.
Gustavo. Yes, we're related. Pelu is my younger brother.
Okay. So wait for my next call. As I told in the beginning, the next meeting that is supposed to happen in March 22nd. Yes, March 22nd. Or maybe the 15th. I will see. I will check with the guys that were responsible for implementing the municipal incentive law in my city. And they don't speak English, so I will be doing the translation altogether, and perhaps we can learn from their desire, from their willingness to bring something into reality. So my friends, that's it. Thank you so much for your participation. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Bye bye, and we meet again in March. See you.